That's fair enough. It's difficult to tell, if it's something that we're making up or not.
Yeah.
Either way. So two of my players couldn't make it to the Rogue Trader game. The two who could, basically, we did the usual, like, talk shit, have that sort of thing. And they had the option, like, beach episode, or let's actually play continue the story. And they went, well, let's continue the story if that's all right. So the plan was, from the last session, they were saying, we're going to go on the spaceship of the Strixes. The Strixes are these, like, Roman merchants who basically they show up. If you're weaker than them, they're going to go, easy pickings. They're going to attack you and raid you, kidnap your people and run away, or raid your things. But if you're equal to or stronger than them, they're going to go, ooh, my good sir, we have wares. Come, let Strixes show you these wonderful artifacts. Have you seen this? And they'll pull out, like, a glue stick. And they'll try and sell you like it's the most amazing thing that you've ever met before.
Yep.
So they've come across the Strixes, but it is not the ship itself is actually derelict. There's no power on, there's no oxygen, there's nothing of that. And they realize it's because, as they scan the area, there are 2 destroyed Dark Elder ships. So the players are like, okay, if the Dark Elder is around here, we have to be hyper careful. So everyone is scanning or doing auger readings. Everyone's doing things to, like, be on alert. And last session, we ended with the group going, okay, we're going to go aboard the Strixes ship. We're going to investigate what the Strixes has. When these 2 players then had to, like, make a decision, and because we'd had, like, a week, we had to skip. So it's been, like, 2 weeks since we played. They were like, oh, wait, what are we actually doing? I went, okay, here's what we said last time. Here's what the plan was. Here's what you learned. They went, oh, cool. We're going to go aboard the Dark Elder ships. Now, I've spent 2 weeks making 4 different maps for the Strixes ships. All of that is scrapped now. And I basically have to go, right, I now have to give the atmosphere of being aboard a Dark Elder ship. I have done no preparations for this. I have never considered or read into the rules about boarding what a Dark Elder ship is like. So I have to, like, on the fly, read while I am narrating. This is a part of the job. Like, okay, I get it. Like, this is what comes with it. But I was like, I was literally told what the plan was. And then that is ditched by the players, and then they go and do something completely else. I'm like, what? The planet that was nearby has got Timo Tyranids on them that I have spent weeks studying out. I had 7 maps. Oh God, you're gonna get ready for this. Like, I had 7 maps prepared with different effects, influences, environmental factors, enemies, the Timo Tyranids that would then be fighting them, adapting to them. If the players were going to be using heavy weapons, they would be showing up as, like, heavier armors the next time. If they started using a lot of, like, various weapons, like, they would do this. One of the players loved using the flamer, so they would have spore sacks literally fly in, so that when they burst out, it turns into, like, CO2 that would choke out all the fires. And it would be like, oh God, they're literally adapting to the way that we are fighting. I was like, yes. Because that is how, like, that is the scary thing of fighting the Tyranids, is that they evolve against what you do. If you have, again, so that was meant to be like this, like, combat horror scenario where you keep on going, like, oh, the weapons we brought with us is no longer useful. Fuck. Which would have been scary, because eventually they would have had to turn to psychic weapons. Guess what's gonna start showing up? Not psychic, it's gonna be null creatures. And then you're well and truly fucked. So I had all of that prepared. I had documents. I had reports. I literally had databases for them to go and mine. I had a map where I had hidden, like, every single different depot that they could go to, and there were more buildings, then I had prepared maps intentionally because some of the places had collapsed so badly that if they wanted to go and waste precious time excavating that, it would be a lost cause. That's what I had prepared on the planet. I had prepared for them. I had prepared for them to go and investigate this Strix's mercantile ship. And yes, my plan was that the Dark Elder would eventually show up, and yes, the plan was eventually that the Dark Elder would try to do some combat with them. Like that was always the plan. Um, and eventually, they would, go into that direction. Um, so that was also like pre-scripted, if you would say. Um, Now, going back to what the players did, they went aboard the Dark Elder ship, and I was starting to describe to them like it's pitch black. Like you have got no light, so you've got to have night goggles on. You've got to have like very low luminescent flashlights with you, so that you can actually see that sort of thing. So you're making your way through, and you start realizing that like everything about this place is horrible. Like there are small spikes along the wall, so that if you get into a hand-to-hand combat, you can literally just push someone against the wall, and they will get impaled. I was like, oh, that's quite kind of nasty. If you are trying to like put your hand against like like the corner, the 90-degree corners, well, they've actually sharpened the exact edge so that if you put your hand there and apply pressure, you're going to start cutting your fingers. So like small things where it's like, ooh, that's not very nice. And then there are uneven patterns so that if you're not a Dark Elder with, unnatural agility, you're going to start stepping on the equivalent of Lego walking on the floor.
There's a pain of 1,000 parents.
Yes, exactly. So like I was doing all of this, like one of the players who have had nieces, cousins of younger ages was just like, oh yeah, no, I can relate to this. It's like that's horrible. I was like, yeah, exactly. Um, they were then again. I should have renamed some of the things because I then told them, "Oh, you're about to turn into the torture holes." To which one of the players went, "Nope, nope, 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 nope. I don't care if it's meta. We're not going into a place that is dubbed torture holes." Going around, it's like, fine. You go up to the macro batteries. You're now going to see all the slaves and what the Dark Elder does to them. Now, I am not a horror lore buff. One of my players actually watches explicit gore horror. Like the sort of movies where, as he says, he almost vomits at how graphic they depict death and massacre. Like that's what
Mm-hmm.
he does for fun. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna live up to like what he considers to be terrible. But his character has not bought as the arch-militant. He has not bought the uh, ability of jaded, which means that like mundane horrors scare him.
Yep.
So I am telling him, oh, you now have to roll willpower to not be traumatized by seeing these things. He's like, oh, my character has got 25 willpower. I'm like, oh dear God. You see things that will forever haunt you in your nightmares, and like he goes through, he's now developed a like an OCD thing of like he always like has to check that his gun is there, and if he's not on board the ship, he always needs like a soldier to be behind him, like hand on his shoulder, like they're ready to like do breaches, because
Mhm.
otherwise he doesn't feel comfortable. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Like he's defaulting down to like trained doctrine. I'm like, I like this. Again, the player just goes like, "Well, I don't understand the world, but I understand a little bit of military. So does this make sense?" Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, play into that. The psycho literally just goes, "Well, I don't have eyes, so I don't see." I go, "That's bullshit. You have daredevil warp senses. You see these things. You will not escape it. Roll me these things." I'm like, "Oh,
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The pain and torture emanating throughout Dark Eldership can be seen in the warp. That's the whole point.
oh, wait, Seraphis. Let me get to that because eventually that player eventually goes, "I'd like to check if there's anything psychically active here."
Oh my god, the Slanesh dirty dream that he would have just walked in on?
I told him. So he does like the check. He fails it, so I'm like, you now have to do a will save minus X amount from your failures. And he was like, oh dear, passes. And he's like, oh God, thank God. I'm like, you open up the warp in your head, you shut that door before anything else because you hear things that no man should have heard. The player's like, is it? It's like, you're on a Dark Elder ship with the haunting memories and extreme emotions of what they've been doing. He went, oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Just the tortured agony of what the psychic imprints of
It's
10,000 years. Longer?
I mean, again, like it's continuous. Like it's like these ships are non-stop. Like they keep on going to planets, pick people up. They have perfected the art of keeping people alive and in pain for as long as possible. And as I explained to them, you see someone, that person is probably 20 years old. She looks like she's 40, or he's look like he's 50. And like they are aged like 10, 20 years from what they're being continuously forced to endure. And they're drugged, by the way, not to subdue their pain. No, they're just drugged to be kept alive and awake. And again, the ship that they've come onto was breached. So there's no oxygen, there's no atmosphere, there is only frozen bodies floating around in zero gravity, which means some of them have bumped into each other and broken.
What's it called? Okay, so you remember that horror list of games I showed you?
Yeah.
Okay, which one is it? House of Ashes? Yeah, so Dark Pictures, or the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes.
Yeah.
Not to give away too many spoilers, but later in that game, there is a section that you can come across that I think will not be your cup of tea.
I have played them all. I've completed them all.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, House of Ashes. When they get down into the vampire spaceship.
Yeah.
And you find that dude who's been alive for 3,000 years, but part of him is outside of the stuff keeping him alive, and it's decomposed.
Yep.
And so like half his head is decomposed and the other half is still fresh, and like the eye still moves and is watching them.
Mm-hmm.
That should be your inspiration for what it's like aboard a Dark Eldar ship for someone who has been there too long.
Yeah.
Just like full blown that. That's what I would do. Just saying, that's what I would.
Oh no, definitely. Like, there's so many ways you could go about it. Like, but so the specific faction I have made, because I've got two different cabals that have arrived into this faction. This cabal, effectively, the first cabal arrived, and they're doing very well. Like they are picking up slaves. They're having a whale of a time. They're just having so much fun. They're being super successful. The other cabal literally arrived, but they arrived at the same place that the first cabal is currently at. And the first cabal went, we don't believe in sharing because we don't care. So they attacked them. And the second cabal's Archon lost. So they had to flee. And when you flee as a Dark Eldar, you show weakness. So his underlings basically went, maybe we can do this better. So they backstabbed him, did a quick purge, and they arranged so the two ships that are there were diehard loyalists. They had it arranged so that their ghost shields failed when they attacked the Strixes, which is why they're now there. And the new leader has basically, she is currently in the middle of she's gone through and a lot of interrogation through the Strixes that she's captured to basically learn like where are we, where can we go, where we can get some juicy targets. She's currently mapping out like their new routes, and they've had a great time. Again, Strixes have got so many slaves. They love picking on the Strixes because they are very squeamish. So she's had her people placated for a while. Then the players arrived, and they're like, "That's Imperial ships. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's see what happens." And they've been waiting for like a few days, just monitoring them as they were going over and seeing that they were really fascinated by the derelict ships. And they're like, "Cool, we are gonna use the what's it called, like dolphin shark method, which is where dolphins being able to like make noises. They have one ship going forward pretending to be an Imperial transport because they can use a mimic engine. So they're like, hey, we're this. And they have translators that are prepared to like speak in low Gothic. But they're like, oh no, our oxygen is leaking out. They're not following Imperial doctrine. But that's so that's what they're doing to sort of be like, oh, help us, please help us. We need help, as they're slowly moving forward, like intentionally like moving as slow as they can. I was doing rolls for all the NPCs. Everyone failed. None of the players were saying anything like, oh, can I investigate this? Can I do that? I mean, some of the players were just straight up like, we don't know about the Drukhari, so what can we really do? It's like, that's fair. So they were focusing on like scanning it like over and over. So they got like 2 or 3 scans. I mean, twice by the Seneschal NPC. He rolled like above 80 twice in a row. Could not scan anything. I rolled twice for the navigator because the player isn't there, and that player, if his character isn't utilized, I understand he will get a bit annoyed because he wants, like, his character should be active when these things happens, which fine. I will roleplay, but here's the danger. If someone else is not willing to roll for that character, then it's me, and I've got terrible dice rolls. So that happened. I rolled twice. Could not pass. And then the other 2 NPCs then have to roll, and they can't pass either. So like the players had like 6 to 7 rolls from NPCs. None of them passed. Now, while the dolphin, the one that was making squeaking noises, was slowly approaches, the others were all splitting out in like a panzer? What's it called? Like they're coming in like from either pincer movements coming from either side, with some of them coming from the back and so on. And our Argelder ships, they move quick. It's about like 130,000 kilometers per 30 minutes, so 260,000 kilometers per hour. They move quick, and they move silently. So they just move all the way over, and they were doing like very subtle scans. Like, because the thing is, scans are like a sonar. They are massive pings that goes out. And the Dark Elder knows that. So they're like, we just need to do small adjustifications. And what they were looking for is to figure out, like, what are the void shields like? Because the void shields can make and break an attack. And they found out, like, okay, the players are clustered together. They have a giant light cruiser that has 2 void shields on top of each other. That's a solid attacker. So they're like, right, that's the big one. We need that one to be like, we need to cut its legs out. We need to hit that one hard. The other one, the player's crew, is like the second target. So they're like, okay, that one's the second one. That's going to be a quick one. We need to do a distraction for that. And the weakest one was the smuggler NPC, who was trying to hang a bit back because he's like, oh, I don't want to be out there. Like, I'm not a fighter or anything like that. So they're like, all right, him. Ravage him. So after the 2 scans had been taking place, they just went boom, like they all like closed the distance super quickly. And that's when the NPCs from the players finally broke through and went, wait, there isn't any transport ship. It was just lights and frequencies pretending to be that. And then they were like, oh god, like double their efforts, and they like bombarded that place with like a lot of like scans, and they saw one Dark Elder ship, and they're like, oh wait, why is there only one? Don't they come in packs? And that's when the alarms just went out. Just gonna open my Roll20 here.
Yep.
And I'm gonna read to you some of the results, because when you do a surprise attack, in space it's very difficult to get surprise. So you normally just go, all right, just give them like a +20 for one action that they do. I'm like, that's fine. I will give them a +20 to their crafts, basically doing the boarding action itself. So they had like multiple flyers who came over. So the big light cruiser had 2 Corsairs sending over raiding parties. The smuggler had 2 Corsairs sending over raiding parties, and the players had 1 Corsair sending over raiding parties. The results for the attack itself was brutal. I had the smuggler, when I did the command test, had 7 degrees of success.
Mhm.
Now that translates mechanically. You can then do 1d5 in crew population damage and 1d5 in morale damage. But Dark Elder gets a +2 to both of these rolls, and for every degree of success that they get from their command, they get to roll that another time. So the smuggler had 75 plus 14 points of damage to his crew population and his morale. In 30 minutes, he lost 33% of his population, of his ship population of 30,000, which I think I calculated in your group chat, which was 20. Wait, no, that was the main one. Oh, wait, yeah, and there was another thing that they got. The Dark Elder can choose to give up rolling on a critical table to do a second command roll to kidnap another 1d10% of the crew population. In total, 33% of the population was killed, 9% was kidnapped. In numbers, that is 12,810 people that were murdered or disappeared in 30 minutes.
I mean, to be fair, they are Imperial ships. I mean,
yeah, like with a population of like 30,000, that's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that happened, and then the big light cruiser, they had like 5 degrees of success, the Dark Elder. So their initial attack took out 17% and did a morale damage of 22%. Now, mechanically, every time you lose 10%, you have to do a morale check. If you have a more than 10% being lost, you start taking penalties to your command check to keep the ship in order. I rolled a 100, which is horrible. That's like a critical failure in this game, which I translated into the Drukhari came in. Where they landed, they swept across and just murdered a lot of people and left behind their guns, because why would they take Imperial guns? They're just inferior.
Oh, yeah.
What they ended up doing is that they cleaned out the security details and the border controls for the light cruisers on the deck. where all of their mutants and criminals live. And they blew open the doors and realized, oh, wait, wrong way, and moved on. But the people downstairs went, freedom, and came up. But wait,
Yeah, so that
Seraphis,
ship,
there's more.
that ship is fucked.
It is. So that ship, the light cruiser, which is known as the Tyrant's Fortitude, basically sent a message going, I have a civil war on my crew, on my ship. The Dark Elder is aboard. I recommend we do an emergency warp jump. This is not a fight. Like the commander basically went, the deck is stacked against me. Like, I am not fighting a civil war and Drukhari at the same time. I need to focus on one of these. So he recommends that everyone warms up their warp drive and just yoinks out of there. Like, unified, we're gonna go to one place. Pick a place, we're going there now. We're going there blind. I mean, let me ask you, Seraphis. In a situations like that, do you not think it's a bit? You need to do something to get the hell out of there.
Okay, yes, but I would also be looking at my situation at the time.
Yeah.
And my situation at the time, from all perspectives, including the apparent, great Harlequin who is obviously looking at this entire situation and taking great interest in it and changing fate repeatedly for, okay, you make an emergency warp jump, you're going to lose, like, statistically, a bunch of people are going to get lost through the warp, through that jump. You could clear out the Dark Elder doing that. You could also miss all the Dark Elder in that role, take out a bunch of your own people, and now you're even worse off than you were before you made an emergency jump.
Yeah. So emergency jumps, at least the way that I rule them, is you give the order, you boot up the warp engine, and you boot up the gale field at the same time. So these two machines are very loud in terms of like scans. So the Dark Elder, because they don't have warp capability, they're like, okay, no, get our men off, get whatever treasure we can off, and get the fuck out of here. So that his entire plan was like, we're gonna jump. Ideally, they're gonna be scared and run off, because no one wants to be stranded on an enemy ship. So that's his plan again. There are holes in his plan. My entire line of thinking was, he is stressed. He just rolled a critical failure, and he has to make a split decision, which is flawed. It has merits. There's a point behind it, but like, it's definitely one of those of like, you don't normally do it. No. And he gave warning to all the others, like, here's my plan. Are we in agreement? Make a decision now. Because if the other players went, no, we have to fight, he's going to be like, fuck. And he's going to have to start fighting both sides, which will be brutal for that ship. Funnily enough, the smuggler on his ship basically went, okay, I have a riot on my hand. I have Dark Elder on my hand. I have a plan for this. Vent airlocks. Deploy combat shotguns and release the death squads. And he just went, I'm not dealing with this. Dook, boom. Me and the Dark Elders, like, one moment they were running down the corridor, the next one they are being yoinked backwards, hitting things over and over. And the Dark Eldar, they've got like full void-capable suits. They're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, they've taken a beating. They've been hurt. They're like, oh, okay, this is bad. This is bad. And the next thing they know, they see lights of voidsmen coming down the line going, "Spiggity spoodity, I'm coming for your bootity." They basically went, oh, we are dealing with someone who genuinely would not give a fuck. Okay. We're going to take what we can and get the fuck out of here.
We're coming for your bootity. Oh my god. Yeah, I can imagine the Dark Eldar's point of view was just like, wait, humans who do what we do? No.
Yeah,
Screw those Monkai.
Yeah, like, because my understanding of the Dark Eldar is the moment they come across someone that fights back, they're like, oh, whoa. You brought a knife to a knife fight. Can't have that. We prefer to fight our people crippled and unaware. So again, like, it's the whole thing of like hit them once or twice and then run away. Like, that was my entire tactic. I wasn't going to be sticking around doing a prolonged combat. Like, it was going to be 1, 2, run, and then like deploy the ghost shields and disappear. Probably wait like for a few days on the outskirts, like circling around the players to see what they're going to do, and then attack them again. Like, I'll just keep on doing that like piranhas. So that was the plan. So again, so that's what the big, like, the big light cruiser was like, oh, we gotta, get out of here. We gotta do this to do that. The smuggler went, it's all right. They're not named characters.
I'm starting to like this smuggler. I'm just saying.
Sorry?
I'm starting to like this smuggler. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he's not meant to be like morally. He's not meant to be a morally good guy. Like, he's just like, listen, I'm here to make money. I'm here to expand my criminal network. I've not really gotten the chance to do that. I had a brief chance when we went to the Trade Federation. I've done some networking there, which is lovely. I also learned that there is a bigger organization there whom I don't want to deal with. They're called Greywater Incorporated, because naturally, I just took inspiration from Blackwater. And yeah. So yeah, so that's what's it called. So that's what he did. That's what the military captain did. So they've lost that. Then the players got attacked, of course, but they only got one like invader. He got like, let me just get out my thing here. Quickly go out of that. Need to remind myself of like what I rolled. I think, yeah, so they only had, I think it was like 2 degrees. Roll. Sorry, let me just find it here. Oh, no, it was, no, that's not it. No, they had 4 degrees of success on the players. So hard hitting. So that was around like, sorry, just going up and down. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so the smuggler lost 29%. Yeah, so the players lost 17%, and then like another 3% was kidnapped. Quite nasty. So it was around like 20% of their crew population that was gone. So again, like 6,100 dead or gone. The players, again, I only gave the enemy 1 action. The players then went, all right, well, we're going to throw all of our aces against the people who are aboard. They were able to locate the nearby ships. So the astropath ran into her choir, summoned out everyone, literally went into their bedroom, smacked them, and went, "You're coming in. We're doing it. We're doing a thing. We're doing a big thing." And they initiated a what's it called? A ritual where they cause a spontaneous combustion on an enemy ship.
Okay.
That is a power. It has like a -40 to succeed, which means that for the astropath, she has to get everyone in her choir to be there because every choir member gives her like a +5 to her roll. She has 10, so it's like so it's what like plus so 5, so it's like +50. Yeah, +50 that she gets. So she gets a +10 in once all the math is done to do it. She gets it off, and she then gets 3 degrees of success. Every degree of success, she gets to then pick a random component that lights on fire. Very nice, very cool. I like. So I tell her like, okay, I count up all the components, and I go right, roll me 3d9. She rolls that. She sets fire to the bridge of the enemy ship. Just commanders are like, oh yes, we're doing. Oh god, there's fire everywhere. She sets fire to the crew quarters. So all their personal belongings are now on fire. She sets fire to their torpedo base. Out of nowhere, I just sit there and go, all right, astropath, can you please roll me this amount because you've now caused an explosion. So like, there's a 7% hull damage, which is significant when the whole amount, or like the 7 points of hull damage, and given that a Dark Elder ship has 20 hit points, that's a lot. That's almost half its health, like just gone like that. She also destroys 7% of the ship's population in that one move, and they have to fight a fire or 2 fires to stop it. So they have to like do these quick things in succession. The other player then goes, well, when we were with the Trade Federation or in like this like oligarchy space, we met a death cult. I hired them because this death cult, no, it's not as bad as you think. It is a xenophobic death cult, which means they don't kill humans, they kill aliens. Anyone who helps aliens, anyone who buys and sells in alien trinkets, anyone associated with aliens, they will just kill them. They often volunteer or try to get hired on ships to be the shock troops, to either go on board alien ships and murder as many as they can, or be the first line of defense running against the alien invaders to kill as many as they can. Their entire belief is based on the premise that we have given up our humanity. We have trained our entire life to bleed the alien dry. But if they attack us, we are not human. We have given up our humanity. They have literally drained their own blood out and replaced it with synthetic blood. On the premise that we are no longer human. We are now we're now well, we are the exsanguinated. We are the ones without blood. We will give nothing to the alien, and we will take everything from you. Welcome aboard our ship. This will be your grave. Yeah, the arch-militant found them and basically went, they sound cool. Let's get them. So he gathered up them. He has his own little elite force who's all got light power armor. And they just ran in against the Dark Elder that was attacking them. He rolled really poorly. But the fact that there was a concerted effort of driving them off the ship meant that the Dark Elder again went, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't fight fair. So we're just going to back off. I'm just quickly going to go and get myself my lunch. So I'll be right back if that's all right.
Yep, no worries.
Nice.
Oh, God. You know, Sex's story time always leaves me with a. How do I put this? I know there's a European word for it, but I can't remember if it's more French or Germanic in origin, but it's definitely a word for it. And, oh God. Man. I mean, really not surprised about things like this because when you're playing games with chances of dice and things like that, the rolling well, rolling badly, it's the most fun when you've got a shot of failing or succeeding because like especially when it gets to that nice 50-50 where 50% chance of failure, 50% chance of success. I love it when it gets to those things because it's like, ooh, we could succeed or we could fail, but whichever way, it's going to be fun to find out which way this goes. And just yeah.
Oh, sorry for the delay.
That's all right. I was just letting people know just how much I was enjoying
This.
what's going on. Mainly from the point of view of the game mechanics and how when you've got that chance of things succeeding or failing is the best time because even if like, you know, there's a 2% chance of success, the fact that, you know, you've got that chance of success and you're going to be like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go for it and do it. Failure is almost certain, so you expect it. But succeeding is so much fun and just... I mean, prior to this stint of D&D and other games I've been playing since 2015, like, we were mostly playing Battletech. So, you know, this margin of success happened for us occasionally, frequently. So it's some of my funnest moments of gaming, really.
No, definitely. I quite like it. So yeah, so basically to summarize what happened thereafter, the Dark Elder, and I might have to go back and like revisit the exact rules. The players pushed off the Dark Elder.
Mhm.
The Arch Militant was poisoned, stabbed, slashed, crippled, almost put on fire. But because he has certain talents, that means that like he can keep fighting past being crippled. It means like as a Katachan, he doesn't stop.
That's right. It's Katachan, isn't it?
Yeah. So the Dark Elder was genuinely being like, oh, they have one of those. Like, just genuinely just going like, you think this is hurting me? It's only making me stronger. As he's crawling towards him, like, I will get you. And I will do things to you that you will not enjoy. Or you probably will. So because the players did an emergency warp jump, I treated it like it was a vortex explosion for the Dark Elder. So the players had to roll like how far out. the area was affected. It was quite substantial. It was almost like it was 100,000 kilometers that was affected as they were leaving, which is why you normally go way out of the system to go into the warp, because like out there it doesn't matter. You're in deep space at this point, so you can go into like we like open up rifts of the warp and like just move out. And you don't want to do it inside the system, because if you're too close to a planet, shit, guess what's now being radiated by the warp? So yeah, that happened. Because the navigator wasn't there, I had to get out some of my tools to like quickly do all the navigational things for the players. And it was like, okay, just do this. It's going to be as close as I possibly can, but it's not going to be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And that character is broken because, like, in a good way, because you go into the warp, you have an encounter, he avoids it, he sees it, and he circumvents it. Like, so whenever you go into the warp, like, it's always like, we're going to go from here to here. There's nothing that's going to happen. And you might be going like, oh, but that's boring. I'm like, well, it's kind of the point if you have a navigator player. You don't want anything to happen in the warp. That's the ideal thing.
Yes.
I asked the players where you would have had enough time to decide where to go, where you're heading. And they then went, right, we're going to go here. Now, I had planned out they were meant to be going all the way up and around and follow this neat little thing. And they had then asked, like, a few sessions ago, like, oh, where do you think because they're looking for an STC. That's part of an explorator fleet. They're like, well, where do you think the fleet is meant to be according to their schedule? And the makers were like, oh, assuming all the various deviations, here's where I think that they are. And we just pointed to like one of the stops. And that's where the players just went, oh, we're just going to skip the entire route around and we're just going to go there. I was like, oh, cool. My original plan was, if they were going to go all the way up and around, they were going to meet the Dark Eldar again. But it was going to be the first Cabal that was been kicking everyone's ass. I've decided, like, meeting the Eldar after the Dark Eldar, after the Dark Eldar, I was like, that's not going to be fun. So I'm going to switch them out. I'm going to put in the Rak Ghouls instead. But the enemy, or the system that they've arrived into, is a place that was meant to colonize. They got lost in the warp. They arrived here and they've got close enough and they've started populating it. They haven't been able to make contact because of warp storms, anomalies, and now they've just got a shit ton of of raiders. So Dark Eldar, not Eldar, Orcs, Rak Ghouls, Sakri has also arrived there, but that Sakri is like my own, like Cthulhu, or not Cthulhu, but Illithid variant that has shown up. So it's like constantly being attacked, and they have basically, there's a asteroid belt around their system. They've been dragging out asteroids and building bases inside of them, and just putting enormous guns and ICBM missiles into them. And they've just gone, okay, whoever comes in is going to get nukes. They're going to get nukes in the metric ton.
I mean, whatever works for them.
Mm-hmm. So, there's a reason why the Rak Ghoul is coming back. They've come back twice. They've always attacked the same planet. The Rak Ghoul are always looking for the civilization or the remnants of an ancient Xeno species known as the Yuvath. The Yuvath is an alien race that has learned how to harness and manipulate the warp without being affected. They use the warp like humanity uses electricity.
Nice.
And it is suspected that the Ragul were once their slave creations, and the Raguls are now trying to find the Yuvath to hunt them down. But the problem is, the Ragul does not talk. They do not negotiate. They have one purpose in life, and that is to kill. So the plan for this entire place was that the players were meant to like be a part of like a void skirmish and planetary defense. Now originally it was meant to be against the Dark Eldar, who would then like have a bunch of things like distracting them, running away, and then they would be learning like, oh, they're now above the planet. But you don't know where the ships are. You can either like scan for the ships and allow what's happening on the planet to happen, or you can go down and try and stop them. So that's that. Now it's going to be more of the Raggles are going to arrive. They're just going to barge their way through. Just fucking like just hit them hard with boarding torpedoes. Their guns have the equivalent of the storm quality, which means that every time that they hit once, if they get one hit, they technically hit twice in terms of damage. So they just come at you with like a machine gun shotgun. You have 2 shields. We just need to hit you 5 times. That's 10 hits. Something's gonna get through.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to like sit and like spend the next week making all these maps for what's to come. And I'm going to see if they're actually going to do it, or if they're just going to go, well, where did the explorator go? Oh, they went that way? All right, bye.
Oh, man.
Thanks, that's been my games. Oh, wait, I tell a lie. My Sunday group had a one-shot of Bear's heroic game.
Oh, yeah.
I joked / threatened them that I might have to stream what they're like as superheroes.
Why?
Because they're morally questionable at best.
So you're rubbing off on them?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, they're rubbing off on me. So they went up against like one of the superheroes who was basically like the rhinoceros enemy from Spider-Man.
Yep.
So one of the players is like Captain America, but like heavily Christian.
Mhm.
Went up, fought against him, got him down to the ground, and just basically went like, "Oh, I've got this thing where I can do multiple attacks." Like, yeah, I like to do that, and I'd like to hit him repeatedly in his head, giving him concussions, and then leave a leaflet for trauma centers that are Christian run. One of the other players was like, my character shows up. He is an AI. He believes in the best of people. I see a sniper down there. I'm going to fly down and go, hello, good sir. Do you need help? Only for the sniper to reveal to be an assassin, shoots me in my head, drops me down, and now I recalibrated that anybody who is not a registered hero must die. The spellcaster of the team came up against someone else who was like, I'm going to conjure out magic and fire. He just goes, I just put a bubble around her. All of her fire snuffs out the oxygen, pulls it out of her lungs, and only then, as she's about to black out, do I then undo it so that she gasps and basically knocks herself out. They come again. They come up again. They come up again against the speedster who's like, I can move, 300 kilometers an hour. Like, what are you going to do against me? Magician snaps his fingers and the ground is made out of ice. Then they come up against a caveman who has a magical hammer, like a magical flame hammer, and they're like, "We can't talk to him. He's just a Neanderthal." The paladin, the Christian guy, that's Captain America, takes his shield, throws it, hits the character in his the enemy in his testicles. He gets stuck there. Then two of the other players goes, "Oh wait, that thing's made out of metal." It's like, yes, they throw electricity and heat vision at it, causing it to heat up. And one of the other players then shows up. He picked a character that is effectively a War Machine or Iron Man, and goes, "I don't care about property damage. That's not my department." Goes through several floors to then hit this caveman into the ground, burying him alive underneath tons of dirt before he comes back up and goes, "Whose shield is this?" That character is then mind manipulated to see everyone as un-American, and he immediately goes, guns out, starts shooting everyone. The magician just goes, teleport over, touch him, teleport him out of the building into the crowd that's outside. And the other players go, "Oh, we should probably stop that."
Now
the
they think
AI
they should stop it.
Yeah. The AI guy then flies out, to which the player playing the War Machine shouts, "Clanker, die!" The AI bot basically looks at it and goes, I don't appreciate such derogatory terminology." Hacks into his machine, turns it off while they're like 20 stories up in the air, and then goes, "Oh yeah, that's right. I turned off his flight stabilizers." So War Machine is now falling into the ground. The Captain America guy then goes, "I will soften his blow." Takes the Rhino villain, drags him out to where the War Machine's going to land, so that he lands on a villain. At that point, yeah, go on.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where are these friends of yours from?
America, Canada, Poland, and England.
Makes sense.
There are at least two of them who goes, "The checklist needs to be used."
Yeah, that's the Canadian, and I'm probably betting the Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The American basically went, "The American way shall be applied through superior firepower."
Superior firepower ain't got nothing on the checklist.
"I have invented new ways that is not on that list. Hence it is legal."
It's always legal the first time.
Mm-hmm. That group is having another one-shot tonight.
Playing the same game or playing something different?
They're going to be playing the same game, same characters. I'm just going to put them up against different villains this time.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah. Just
We'll
say
get
it.
to hear about this next week.
Mm-hmm.
But sweet Jesus, these people sound absolutely insane. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Mind you, in their 5e campaign, they have now they've reached level 8, so they've now got level 5. They've got level 5 spells now.
Yep.
And I've basically gone, we're doing high magic, high fantasy. So like, just if you can find the book with the spell, and as long as it's a legal book, as in like publicized by WotC, it's okay. One of the players found the book or the spell that allows him to turn any boat or any ship into a spelljammer ship.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now, most people are like, oh, we're now going to be traveling the stars and we're going to be doing this and that. That's not what he wanted. You see, those boats fly at 24 million miles an hour. He just went, can I just reinforce the boat to make it really strong? And implant a lot of explosive runes inside of it? And I went, Andrew, are you just making atomic bombs? And like, no. Hydrogen bombs. There's nothing atomic or devastating about it. It's just pure fire.
No, see what you. Hold on, I don't know if I want to give your players ideas.
Listen, it's way beyond this point. It's fine. They've
Okay.
already made plans to kidnap a Duchess of the Fae Court to extract her natural energy, to harvest her, to make more magical items. Did I just short circuit you, Seraphis?
No, I remember reading there's a feat for 3.5 that allows you to do just that.
Yeah.
Harvest from living beings. Hold on a sec, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's just me eating. Go on.
No, it's all good. See, your problem is, the player's problem is still thinking conventionally. And I assume that you're a DM who can appreciate, shall we say, classic interpretations.
Mm-hmm.
In original AD&D, spells had the ability to yes. Spells had an ability called reverse, where they did the opposite of what, right? Has he considered reversing water breathing as a mass bomb?
So no, not there yet. But you have actually brought up a very good point. What I have made as a rule in my game is there is conventional magic, which is 5e magic, and the way it is written there is what we have to interpret, and we really go through it like word and comma and what have you. And as a group, we all agree on the interpretation that I make, or we have like a small discussion about that. So that's how we do that. The players got a hold of a scroll, which is like a lore and legend scroll where they can ask the DM a question and he then has to give an answer back.
Mm-hmm.
So the player got a hold of that, put it into his scroll, and he's then been asking me a bunch of questions back. And they learned that there is a dark fae hag. But not just any dark fae hag, like a hag mother. Like a proper, like old, ancient hag from beyond the times, like seen as like a big one. And they were like, okay, so she's on our territory. She may become a problem down the line. How do you want to deal with this? And one of the players went, right, ask these 5 questions to Oscar. And he basically went, all right, I'm going to do this. It's going to cost me X amount. Can we just skip through the days where we do this? And went, no, that's fine. He was asking for information about the hag to broaden out his knowledge to the point of where the last one was the things like the 4th question was, do I now know enough to know her completely as a person? And I went, yes, you do. And then the final 5th question was, I would now like, using all the previous provided information, to know her true name. Now I sat there and went, well played, sir. Tip my hat. Well done. I'm going to be making a ruling for this session only, and we're going to be revisiting this later. Because what the plan was that the other player didn't want to reveal. Again, I like it. It's a bit of like keep the thing secret and then have a aha moment. It's fun because the players just go fucking bonkers. They're like, oh my god, we did this, we've done that. So that wizard who has been casting all of these things has basically gotten to know the entire hag, her personality, the whole 9 yards. And I use true names, much like how Aragon, the inheritance cycle does, where like it gives you power over them. You can now invoke the true name. They don't get to defend themselves against the spells. They don't do to anything. So their plan was to use summon outsider, targeting her, summon her over, and then do planar binding to a Rubik's cube and bind her inside of that, effectively creating a djinn. Now I said I will allow it for this session and this session only. But I'm now going to be making some rules in regards for how we go about this.
Yep.
And the rules basically being every time you do something like that against someone with decent enough power, that person now will realize someone's looking into me and they will start doing things back to you. So like as a group we agreed that like, okay, we got to have the aha moment. We're now updating how this is going to be done. Great. But the players have now gone to the hag's home, fought all of its components, survived, and they've come away with her spellbook. And I said that spellbook has got primeval magic. And the players are like, well, the wizard basically said, well, what is primeval magic? I'm like, it is magic from when the origins of magic happened, also known as 2nd edition. And the player just went, what's the difference between 2nd edition and 5th edition magic? I said, do you know of the hold person spell? He went, yeah. Let me read you the 5e version. Let me read you the 2nd edition version. He went, oh. And that's a level 1 spell. I'm like, yes. Or like level 2 spell, so on. And here's what this one can do. Here's what that one can do, and so on and so on. And like this dark hag mother had up to level 5 spells. Now I explained to him he cannot copy this into his current book. The grimoire that he has, if that is damaged, that's it. That is unrecoverable. This is rules from before the magical scourge that took place in 5e, like the transition from 2nd edition to 3.5 and onward. Like this book has survived that. Casting spells from this grimoire attracts the attention of Mystara, the goddess of magic, because she is looking out for people who does that. So like he understands like spells from here, there is a chance that somewhere up there's an angel that might suddenly go, him, get him.
My god, could you imagine an ancient true speaker?
Yeah.
Someone who can just speak a word and turn a god powerless. Like, Fucking hell.
So the whole idea basically being that the magic from previous edition, specifically second edition, exists in my D&D campaigns. And we use the rules from second edition almost verbatim. So they're like, okay, so this is a very big treasure. So I need to give him a spell book, and it is going to be a case of like he actually has to sit and like do genuine work to decipher the spells, because in 5e you can just open the spells, and as long as you are a spellcaster, you can understand what it is.
Yeah.
In second edition, the magic, you have to tame the magic within this pages to understand it, and it is going to be different for every person. It is not just draconic like I have it in 5e. This is its own language, and the player loves that. He's like, this is really super cool.
And it's like it's getting back to that core Vancian style, which kind of is best represented in what was that? Hold on 2 secs. Where is it? It doesn't help that I'm also being freaking attacked by flies because it's so freaking hot today. The Color of Magic, Terry Pratchett, where you're taming the spell, and then when you use it, it goes out of you. So if you need that spell again, you have to capture it to put it back in your head. Like, yeah, no, that's I like that. I like that a lot.
It's small things like that I think makes my DMing style a bit unique.
Yes.
Because I will certainly allow you to go and get primeval things and so on. My plan is for my real life group to get a hold of a few primeval spells that they can get a hold of, because they're about to go and fight my real life group is about to go and fight a sea hag covenant, who's got like Kuotoas and a bunch of other like sea creatures and monsters working for them. And it's going to be a big fight. And they're going to cast some spells where it's like, charm person. It's like, oh, I'm just charmed. It's like, no, you are directly under their control now. These are your greatest friends.
Yeah, AD&D didn't mess around.
Yeah, and it's fine. Quite like that.
Yeah.
So there's that, and what I do for my real life group is, for that campaign, I brought out my AD&D Dungeon Master Guide. And I told them that they were allowed to roll at absolute random for a item from that book. A magic item. There has been some interesting ones. There's been one that got like a vial of love potion.
Well, I know what I would have done, but you know,
And they still have some of these things. They've got like, when they rolled up for like the weapons, I was like, I'm okay changing the weapon itself into like what you prefer, because it's ridiculous to like be going like, I want to be a spear guy, and then you get an axe. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm an axe now. It's like, no, just give him whatever weapon is doable. That makes no difference. I'll take the properties if it's a special weapon and like just finesse it around. Like I don't see the point in like being that stingy with the rules.
Yeah. No, I get that too.
Yeah, that's me. So that's what that group's gotten, and my current group has, my current Sunday group, what I do with them is once they've defeated like a major enemy, I say, okay, we are now rolling for the treasure that you find, and the players roll to see what they find. So I then open up the DMG book, I go to the table, and I go, right, you now need to roll me X percentage. You now have to roll a D4 or D6 on this table. You now have to roll X amount of times. Let's see what you find. The players really like it because it's like they generate a pool,
Mm-hmm.
and then though like as a group they then have to sit and discuss like who gets what, and sometimes the pool, if you roll quote unquote bad, you only get coins.
Mm.
And the players are like, you drew the short store, you only get money, which is an ongoing joke in my Sunday group. It was like one player being like, "Oh, I haven't had a paycheck for like a year. This is finally me being paid." And recently, because we keep a channel for like where people like put money in and take money out, one player actually went through and did accountancy of where money's been taken in and out from,
Mm-hmm.
and realized that someone has been embezzling the group's funds by $5,000.
What the shit?
It is so fucking funny.
Oh,
we we are the most efficient and the most corrupt government that has been established here. We get shit done, but we can't keep the money in the fucking treasury.
God damn.
It's just funny. It is usually the wizard.
Oh, of course, the high intelligence. Yep.
No, it's like the wizard who's doing the embezzling, and then it's the person who discovers it is actually the samurai, or the he's playing as a vengeful skin, which is a Pinocchio character.
Okay.
So Pinocchio, fey creature, who uses a illusion of alter self to make himself look like a rabbit for rabbitkin, or like a hare, a harrow.
Oh, Heron,
Yeah.
Heron.
Yeah, he makes himself look like that. But he's like a short, like small creature, Haragon, but he's actually made out of wood, and he's a fey creature.
Yeah.
Mind you, him as a character, he was kicked out of the Feywild because of how he behaved in front of the Fey, and they're like, you don't respect our way of life. You've clearly shown disregard towards nature. You're now banished, and a bunch of other things. So he was banished. He then reconfigured himself to look like more sinister, and he renamed himself from Sunskipper to Ghoulbark. And the penalty he rolled up for himself was his character doesn't like to speak with other people. So he's playing a mute.
All right.
Yeah. But one of the other players who's playing a soul knife has the ability to link everyone else in on like a mental, like telepathic communication. Which means that the players are so the players are talking telepathically, and then suddenly decided to do something, which means all the NPCs are just confused. Like, what are we doing? I was like, well, we're clearly doing this, and like, but no one said anything. But this character, the samurai, refuses to talk even in thought. So he sends out pictures like a child of like it's interpretive dancing with that character. It's like one of the enemies, when they discovered how the group functions. Have you seen Klaus? The Netflix movie Klaus, of like the creation of Santa Claus.
Oh no, not yet.
Okay. In that movie, you've got two families who just hate each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always fighting. And at one point, they have to unite to basically go against Santa Claus.
Yep.
And one of the houses, you realize he is just so dumb, but they're stubbornly dumb that they just won't give up. And the other one is really intelligent. And it's only at this moment that they realize how each other is. So the intelligent one looks at the dumb one and goes like, how have we never defeated you in 100 years? You're so dumb that you don't know that you're being defeated. To which the other one goes, can't admit defeat if you don't know it. It's like the enemies of my group literally sit there like, you should not be able to function. You should be killing each other. Yet, you've defeated us. You have Duragar, Drow, and all of these other evil creatures all working for you. Not because that you have any form of unifying goal. It's just the fact that you managed to pin anger and a united form of destruction towards someone else, and then you bumble forwards.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the dwarf game for me. So, except most of the extenuous circumstances and characters get introduced because my cousin, his dwarf has a habit of either eating or fucking something he shouldn't have and causing something bad to happen.
So is he a bard?
No, he's a fighter.
Okay.
He's got 2 levels in rogue, if that helps.
It does. I think I had a player play a swashbuckler, but he played it like a Spaniard. So he was like, I cannot return to this duchy. It's like, why? Because I slept with someone. It's like, who? I don't know. But their husband was very angry when they found out. Were they powerful? Well, they had a nice dress. It's like, you bumbling buffoon. And again, that was a Pathfinder / 3.5 game where like they just built things up. I took them through Red Hand of Doom, and that swashbuckler ended up being separated from the group when they were fighting a lich, and the lich was like, oh, I just need to sneak past him and I can go over here and I can do this. And the player then argued like, okay, something is swishing by me. I am on high alert. I would like to have an attack. I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to give you a -4 for that and minus for this, and so on. He was like, that's fine. Because, Oscar, I have been lowering my critical hit number to 16. And he rolls and he gets a 17, which is a crit. He rolls, he confirms it, which means he not only gets the lich to then tumble, and as he flies to lose control and crash into the ground, he then has a action that allows him to follow up and like dart over and do like a riposte, like piercing attack, temporarily stunning it. At which point the attack then dispels the what's it called, the invisibility that the lich has upon it, and he then goes, I shall now play dentist, and he gets out pliers, and because the lich has taken all these like ionic stones, shaped them as teeth, and put them inside his mouth. So he then starts pulling out his power while the lich is there going, no, stop, no.
Oh, God.
And the thing, worst part is, it was all legal. The player went, I have been holding my action, I've done this, I've got 3 attacks, I can now do this. First attack, knock him down. Second attack, paralyze him. Third attack, pull out his teeth.
Oh, you can't argue with that.
No, what's most horrifying is when all the other players realized what was going on, they all came running to cannibalize the bones of the lich. Like, fucking In the game, you're meant to be negotiating with the Lich to get him not to give support to the Red Hand of Doom. This group, throughout the entire gameplay, were preparing. They knew that they had to go and visit the Lich. They just missed all the clues that they were being teleported into the Lich's lair. So when they arrived, they weren't ready, they hadn't prepared, and they were like, oh god. Well, plan B. What's plan B? Plan boom. Fireball, fireball, fireball.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was funny because like the Lich just put up like a whole lot of traps, so like he would be levitating over them. The players would run after him, fall into like 20-foot pit, and then you're like, oh wait, I've got boots of flying, and then they would fall down, hit the ground, stand up, and go, oh yeah, I don't have to be here. Up I go and fly after him.
Your players are crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It is genuinely like you sit there, you look at what they do, you have to explain to someone else like me telling you these stories, and you get these reactions. I come back to them and I go, I explained what you guys did. And they go, yeah, here's the reaction of other people. And my players sometimes go, other people can't handle us like you do, Oscar. And even you struggle. Anyway, I think I am going to have to call it here.
Yep, that's okay.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Just know that as crazy as they are, all they're really doing is giving me ideas for how to make things a lot worse.
I don't hear a problem.
Yeah. And on that note, thanks for joining us, everyone.